My sisters, there comes a moment in every woman's life when she has to look in the mirror and ask a question that shakes her soul. When will I stop pouring into everybody else and finally pour into myself? You've been the backbone, the caregiver, the encourager, the one who wipes away tears while crying in silence yourself. You've been carrying everyone's weight, yet when it's time to breathe, you push your own needs to the side. But hear me clearly, today is the day you make a choice. Today is the day you decide that you are worthy, not just of surviving, but of thriving. There comes a time when you must recognize that the very weight on your shoulders is not the weight of your destiny. It is the weight of other people's expectations. Too many women are carrying bags that don't belong to them. They are walking through life with burdens handed down from family, friends, culture, and society, and they mistake that pressure for purpose. But hear this, purpose is never suffocating. Purpose fuels you. Expectations drain you. Everywhere you turn, somebody has a script for your life. They tell you how you should look, how you should act, how you should speak, and even how you should sacrifice. And because you love deeply, you pick up their voices and start living according to their demands. But when you try to live up to what everybody else wants, you slowly start losing the sound of your own voice. And a woman who loses her own voice loses the power of her identity. When you say yes too quickly, when you take on too much, when you keep neglecting your own soul just to please others, you create a prison with invisible walls. And those walls are built not by enemies, but by the expectations of the very people you love. That is why you feel trapped. That is why you feel drained. Because you've been carrying a load that was never meant to be yours in the first place. Choosing yourself doesn't mean you don't love others. It means you refuse to disappear while loving them. You cannot be the rock, the shelter, the healer, the listener, the comforter, and the problem solver for everyone else while ignoring your own brokenness. If you keep giving without boundaries, you will run out of yourself. And when you run out of yourself, nobody wins. Sometimes the reason you feel unappreciated is because people have grown comfortable with your sacrifice. They expect you to always show up, to always be available, to always fix what is broken. But listen, you are not a machine. You are not a never-ending well. You are a woman with limits, a woman with needs, a woman with a heart that also deserves to be nurtured. The danger of living for expectations is that no matter how much you give, it is never enough. People will always find another demand, another request, another standard for you to meet. And if you let it, this cycle will keep you exhausted, empty, and resentful. That's why you must step back and say, I will no longer drown in what others want from me. I will rise into what I need for me. Breaking free from expectations doesn't start with others. It starts with you. It starts when you decide to value yourself enough to say, no, I will not sacrifice my peace for your comfort. No, I will not erase my dreams to carry your vision. No, I will not abandon myself to keep you satisfied. Because the moment you set those boundaries, you begin to breathe again, And woman, hear me. You deserve to breathe. You deserve to exhale. You deserve to stand tall, free from the suffocation of what people think you should be. The truest version of you can never rise if you are shackled by what they expect. And once you break free, you will discover a freedom so powerful, it will make you wonder why you ever tried to be everything for everybody else in the first place. There was a time when your heart beat faster at the thought of your dreams. You could see them so clearly that they pulled you out of bed at night. You whispered them to yourself in the dark. You carried them in your journal. You felt them burning in your chest. But somewhere along the way, life called you to sacrifice. And because you loved, because you cared, because you wanted to hold everything together, you buried your own dreams so that others could live theirs. You told yourself, I'll get back to it one day. One day when the kids are grown. One day when the bills are lighter. One day when the house is stable. But one day kept turning into someday, and someday has now stretched into years. The vision that once kept you alive has now been collecting dust inside of you. And you've been surviving without realizing that a part of you has been starving. But hear me, your dreams are not gone. They may be buried, but they are not dead. A buried seed looks like it has disappeared, but in reality, it has been waiting for the right season to break through. That book you wanted to write, that business you wanted to build, that degree you wanted to pursue, that passion you wanted to chase, it is still in you. It is still calling you. It is still alive. Too often, women believe that putting their dreams on hold is the definition of strength. And while sacrifice has its place, there is a difference between sacrifice and self-erasure. Sacrifice gives for a season. Self-erasure abandons forever. You cannot keep silencing your own desires and expect to live fulfilled. You cannot keep trading your fire for someone else's comfort and still expect to feel whole. And let me tell you this, your dream matters. It matters not just to you, but to the world. Somebody is waiting on the vision inside of you. Somebody is waiting on the story you carry, the invention you've hidden, the gift you've ignored. You may think it's too late, but destiny doesn't run on your clock. Destiny waits for your yes. Destiny waits for your decision to rise and reclaim what you once set aside. Reclaiming your dream will not be easy because the voices of doubt will remind you of every excuse you've ever made. They will whisper, "You're too old. You're too tired. It's too late." But I came to tell you, it's never too late to begin again. The moment you give yourself permission, the moment you choose to pick up what you left behind, the breath of life rushes back into your vision. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You don't need everyone to clap for you. You don't need validation from the very people who benefited from you forgetting yourself. You need courage, the courage to reclaim what is yours, the courage to say, I deserve to live my dream, not just dream my life away. And when you dare to reclaim what you buried, you'll discover that those dreams were not waiting to shame you for the years you lost. They were waiting to empower you for the years you have left. They were waiting for the woman who is wiser, stronger, braver, and ready to finally choose herself. So woman, hear me today, it's time. Time to stop drowning under the weight of everybody else's expectations. Time to stop silencing your own voice just to keep the peace. Time to dig up those buried dreams and breathe life into them again. You have spent too many years pouring, giving, sacrificing, and surviving, but now it's time to rise. You don't owe the world your exhaustion. You owe the world your purpose. You don't owe anyone your silence. You owe yourself the sound of your truth. You don't owe your dreams an apology. You owe them a chance to live. This is your moment to choose yourself, not out of selfishness, but out of survival. Not because you don't love others, but because you finally love yourself enough to say, I matter too. And when you make that choice, when you stand in that power, when you reclaim your own worth, the world around you shifts. You stop walking with your head down and you begin walking with your crown lifted. You stop hiding in the background and you step boldly into the light. Because the truth is this: when you choose yourself, you don't just rise. You teach others how to rise too.